called it the greatest transfer of wealth in history. It's the massive theft of American trade secrets through cyber attacks and espionage, much of it coming from China. Until now, few U.S. firms have actually been willing to admit that they've been victims of these attacks, but now one of them is speaking out.
I felt betrayed.
Daniel McGann says his company, American Superconductor, was the victim of economic espionage right out of a Cold War spy novel. The blatant theft of advanced computer software that he was selling to a Chinese energy firm.
They were out to kill my company.
Sinovel powers the world.
Federal prosecutors charge that Sinovel, a wind energy company with close ties to the Chinese government, lured one of McGann's employees, Dejan Karabasevic, to steal software, offering him a $1.7 million contract and access to women. These Skype messages obtained by NBC News are key evidence in the alleged conspiracy. All girls need money. I need girls. Sinovel needs me, reads one of Karabasevic's Skype messages to a Sinovel executive. Prosecutors call it attempted corporate homicide and filed criminal charges against Sinovel and two top executives for trade theft and wire fraud. McGann says the alleged theft cost his company more than $1 billion in market value.
You had to lay off a lot of workers.
Yeah, we laid off about 500 people. Very difficult.
Sinovel, which has denied wrongdoing in the past, declined comment to NBC News. So did a lawyer for Karabasevic, who has pled guilty to the theft in a European court. From the boardroom to Congress, a new resolve.
We are no longer going to play nice about what we know is as basic as highway robbery. And that's exactly what they're doing. There ought to be a consequence for it.
We've got to have real leverage on the table, and that would come down to denying China access to the U.S. market.
And joining us now is NBC News national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff. Michael, it's great to have you with us. You profiled Sinovel, but how widespread is this espionage?
It's pretty enormous. A U.S. Commission on Intellectual Property Theft, co-chaired by John Huntsman there and also Dennis Blair, former Director of National Intelligence, put the cost to the U.S. economy about $300 billion a year, plus millions of jobs are being lost as a result of this. Now, most companies don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to advertise vulnerabilities in their computer systems, and many of them are doing business in China. They don't want to upset the apple cart. But behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. The Department of Justice has set up an intellectual property task force to focus on these cases, and law enforcement sources tell me the FBI now has over 100 active criminal investigations into economic espionage in the United States right now. So while we haven't heard that much until now, we may be hearing a lot more to come.
Yeah, it sounds like we certainly will be. But, you know, how tied are the U.S.'s hands? What more can they do about it, especially if companies don't talk about it?
Well, you know, that's why this is being moved up in terms of in talks with U.S.-China. It came up in President Obama's recent summit, and also there was a cyber summit here with the State Department with Chinese officials just a few weeks ago. This was raised. But the real question, as you so aptly put it, is how much pressure is the United States really going to bring? This is one element in a very complex relationship, and, you know, whether or not this is going to take precedence over some other big issues is a big question.
Michael, thanks so much. It's great to have you on the show. Come back and spend more time with us.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.